Beautiful city. Oh, hi.
Hi.
You caught us. You caught us talking about the city in Europe that is our little secret, and we won't.
Divulge it. No.
Yeah, we won't divulge, but it's really good. It's really good. So anyway, on that cliffhanger, let's start the show. Normally you finish on a cliffhanger, but here we go.
We'll tell them at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're gonna hang for it.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. Yeah, because there's no sequel to this, not for many years. So we'll just give you the cliff. We'll give you the sequel at the end of the episode. Actually, somebody set a reminder. Like, anyway, well, I'm joined. I can't believe it. In long last, my friend from the last 16 plus odd years, Russ Freaking. My middle name is Freaking, right?
It is, yeah, it's middle name. Yeah.
Freaking Miles. I hear you had a not such a great day.
I've had a lovely day today. I've done a workshop and a talk so far, and now I'm going to do another talk this evening.
Oh.
So yes, I'm diving into agentic engineering and how I got it wrong and how you can get it better. And I lift from the book that I've just written a couple of months ago called The Sovereign Engineer.
Oh.
And then there's a follow-on book that has been published today,
Yeah.
Which is The Sovereign Apprentice. So it talks about, so you've got two distinct,
Congratulations.
I know, it's great, right?
Wow.
So you've got two different perspectives, right? Number one was people like yourself, really.
Yeah.
Engineers, tremendously experienced. Identity is really in the code we write, the stuff we build. And then, so the first book was, what does AI mean to you? What are the workflows like? And what do you need to protect? Because you ultimately the accountable individual in this game. So there's habitat engineering, there's harness engineering, all that goes in there. And there's a whole ladder for you to progress through as far as you wish to go.
Yeah.
The Sovereign Apprentice hits the same ladder from a different direction. It says, what is it like to enter this industry now as somebody that hasn't developed the sensitivities, the sensibilities, the decision-making, the judgment capabilities that you would have?
Okay.
And now they've got AI to help them develop, and AI is giving them extremely confident, hard to challenge answers.
And can we agree that those are sometimes misleading?
Very much so.
Okay.
Misleading. Sometimes they can be awful. But then does the new engineer know?
I mean, this is briefly, I think this touches on a larger societal problem, right? We're seeing countries, it's not even just, I mean, AI is being driven by an algorithm by definition. It's trying to engage you, just like the social media platforms are trying to do. And some countries are starting to ban the social media variant of that algorithm for young people, at least, because, and I think really it should be for everybody. Everybody should be a little encouraged to take a little caution in dealing with these algorithmic, after all, entities.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're not taught to examine what they give us.
Yeah,
this is the thing is, you know, that sensitivity, particularly new engineers.
Yeah.
What comes out can compile, can run, look really, really good.
Not even always true, though. Sometimes it doesn't compile, sometimes it doesn't run.
My harnesses are excellent.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I do get good stuff out, but it's confidently wrong.
Yeah.
Is part of the problem. So many of the original checks I would normally apply just don't apply.
Right.
And if I'm a new engineer coming into it, and a lot of it was inspired actually by a new engineer that I was talking to at university, and they were in tears. They spent 3 years becoming a software engineer.
Oh no.
And now they're in this industry and they're going, who am I? What do I do? What is my part in this? Everyone's telling me I'm not welcome.
Yeah.
I want to write a book that told them they were welcome and told them how they could make themselves even more welcome.
Do I have to buy the book, or will you share some of that with us?
We can share that. It's free.
Okay.
So that book, The Sovereign Apprentice, is free. It's one of those pay if you can, pay what you want kind of books, because it's for people at the beginning of their career.
Yeah.
All right. They're not as loaded as you are, Josh.Ey're not sitting on a nest egg of millions. All right. So you've got your coffee beans. Yeah. You're fine. But they haven't even got the coffee beans.
You know, every year they give me a free copy of the Spring Framework, and I feel so excited. so excited.
I'm not going to tell you who else gets it.
So anyway, no, that's Sovereign. So what was it, like LeanPub or Amazon, or what do I?
It's all on LeanPub. So it does give me the flexibility and also the ability to update.
I did one book on there. I'll do it again. I'm doing it again. It's great.
A great experience. So I've actually just done a whole bunch of interviews with Len, who runs the LeanPub stuff, and we were talking about sovereign engineers, how the book even came into existence, why am I bothering to do this?
Yeah.
Why am I back in the industry after taking a small departure?
A sabbatical, yeah. Well, I mean, it was
a sabbatical.
But I'm so much gladder, so much happier. If I'm honest, can I be 100% honest? Maybe I'm thinking somebody else. Weren't you? Wasn't your voice kind of out of inputs for a little while? I'm glad to hear from you as well.
I lost my voice. Yeah. The type of so if those may not know, I had a very a brush with cancer, I think, an experience. Sometimes I call it a gift. It's a very strange way of looking at it, but it's true. Um, and it recalibrates everything. But one of the things it did is it recalibrated my voice, it recalibrated my taste buds. I don't drink alcohol anymore, which is probably beneficial
Way
to me
better, yeah.
and the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's partially because I can't stand the taste. So yeah, everything changed. The funnest part, just to share with folks,
Sure.
the funnest part, and there's not many funny parts in cancer, but the funnest part was like actually my taste buds got so ruined because of the surgery and everything else they were
Yeah.
doing. I became ratatouille for a while. I could taste the ingredients of things. If you gave me a piece of
Oh,
cheese, I could taste the milk. I could taste this. I could do. So
wow.
everything was reprogramming. It was really interesting.
Fantastic.
Mm.
Well, I'm glad to see. I really am glad. You're as old a hat as they come in the spring ecosystem, right? And so,
There's a few older, not
I
many.
mean, a few, but yeah, it is lovely, just
Mm.
truly wonderful to see you, my friend.
Mm.
I didn't expect you to be here. I didn't check the schedule if I'm honest, but I did to see you, and I was like, Russ? I mean, oh my God. So,
Well, you know, it's like most speakers when they look at a schedule for a conference, particularly the many that you do, they're not looking at the whole conference. They're going, okay, where are my
right.
slots and can I handle this?
I
Right?
mean, but if you had just messaged me, I'm like, God, anyway, I'm just happy to see you. I really am.
No, I'm glad to be here.
So talk to me about, can we talk about this since you're giving it away and you won't
Mm.
lose money
No,
anyway?
fine. Yeah.
Can we talk about some of the insights in this book? I mean, do you have a
Yeah.
TLDR?
So the Sovereign Apprentice starts from the basic premise of you have a crown that you don't really deserve. So new engineers, particularly if they've been trained in agentic engineering at university, can produce code that you and I would be quite proud of.
Sure.
And yet they can't defend it. They don't understand the nuance of it.
Yeah.
They've never debugged it at 2 a.m. when production is having fun.
Yeah.
They've never faced a multitude of dashboards that are
Yeah.
telling you vague ideas of what might be there. So taking that perspective of they don't, those people don't have that muscle memory.
Yeah.
They don't have the how we got here part of the arrangement. What can we do to help them train themselves for that? Can they purposely, intentfully train themselves to build those sensitivities? And I use a bunch of interludes in the book. So I like telling stories.
Sure.
And what the interludes build on each other. So the first interlude, they're all set in La Bomba, which is a cafe where lots of conversations on software happen in my blog. So it's based there. The apprentice walks in, has a crown hovering just above their head. And they're not aware of it, but they think they're really confident.
Sure.
Right? They're amazing. They've just had the best week of their work. They've shipped loads of stuff. None of it they can defend or understand.
Oh dear.
And so the conversation goes around that. And then they get introduced to the cellar. The cellar is empty because they want a glass of wine, they want to celebrate. They're taken to the cellar, there's nothing in it. And the whole point is, this is your experience.
Yeah.
This is where your grounding is.
Right. And
yet
it's
empty.
There. Yeah.
So it does that, and it's trying to make you feel a little nervous about that. And then the middle chunk of the book is about filling the cellar. And then by the time you get to the end, you've got someone going to the cellar and realizing that there's a new apprentice coming in through the door. What can I do to help them begin to fill their cellar? And in fact, one of the metaphors of it is that the cellar turns out to be infinitely large because I can do that in stories.
Right.
And so you'll never finish filling the cellar.
And that's true even before AI. It's certainly true now. My
Certainly
goodness.
true. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the days of people getting paid for what they know is behind us.
Yeah, it's more, I like to
the
think of
application
it.
of it instead.
Yeah, I think so. So I had a wonderful conversation with Alistair Coburn over in the place that we won't mention because it's our
No,
secret.
it is so beautiful. You would
gorgeous.
love it, but we're not.
If you knew it, if you only knew it.
If you only knew.
So yeah, I was over in that place, and Alistair Coburn was there. That's how good it got there. And I had a great conversation with him about the workshop he'd just done, which was the Elephant Carpaccio workshop. You can search for this. You can find it.
What a name.
And what it is how do you slice requirements so that you can retain agility and ship the minimum number of decisions at once?
Yeah.
So that's his whole point, is don't ship big chunks, ship something you can verify, decisions you can verify, and look for the slices of those. And so we talked at length about, what was that model? What is that thought process? And the thing he said to me that absolutely stuck was, what is software engineering? It's decision making.
Yeah.
Right. So we're making decisions about the shape of the code, the shape of the readability of it. We're making decisions about what to use, what not to use, what to move to this area because I've got too many concerns here.
Yeah.
We're making a multitude of decisions all the time in software
Yeah.
engineering.
Most of mine
And
terrible, but yes, go on.
well, I mean, I wouldn't talk about my life choices, my friend, but they, but those decisions, they compound, and we need to verify as quickly as possible. And the difference between waterfall and agile is lots of decisions at once that are
Right.
unverified or not.
Right.
Okay, so which is lovely framing, and that helped me, right? So I was then looking at what is the relationship between us and agentic engineering. It's decisions. The raw stuff of software engineering is decisions. So now we need to ask ourselves, what decisions are happening? What decisions are we giving the responsibility to the LLMs to do? And what responsibilities are we taking on? And bearing in mind, the only accountable party in this is the human.
Sure.
So that's really the heart of habitat engineering, which is the sort of the habitat series is the book series. I'm building up and I'm moving towards how do you build a habitat where we can have a multitude of cognition, and it's not consciousness, it's cognition in the room that has very different baselines and experiences and everything that goes with it. We're very different. Whenever I hear someone say, "Oh, we'll replace our junior with an LLM," I was like, "Do you know how an LLM thinks? The notion of thinking. Do you know how it processes? It's nothing like a human.
No,
It won't replace a human."
surely not.
So in that arrangement, what is the collaboration? And that's what I design around this raw stuff of decisions. And so to your point, what as a junior engineer, right, as a new engineer, a new graduate, what I'm doing is I'm making lots of decisions,
Yeah.
many of which I may not have the discernment for yet.
Wow. And so normally, if I don't have the discernment, well, first of all, I'm more cautious in my tiny steps. Second of all, I reach for the counsel of a more senior engineering friend. And then third of all, I tend to avoid if it's risky.
And then we've got AI telling you you're right, and
You're
here's the right
absolutely right.
answer.
Yeah, yeah.
So because you've got this sycophantic help, it really does undermine those good instincts you've got, Josh, right? The good
Yeah,
instincts to go and seek an authority or go and seek a mentor or those things are now being replaced by this very confident collaborator, not in a good way. And
right.
so we have to help people, particularly new engineers, realize that judgment and discernment, and back to your point about everyone in society, judgment and discernment is what we are. How
Yeah,
can we train ourselves to do that?
it's
Which
our
might help with the
contribution.
politics as well at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. It's, IBM, and again, if anybody says I said this, I'm going to disavow it. But they got something right in the 70s.
Yeah,
One
cool.
thing, right? They had this white paper where they said that uh, something to the effect of like a machine can't be held to account, therefore it should never have executive capacity. Like
Yeah,
it should never
absolutely.
be allowed to fire somebody or whatever, or do something for which an executive might otherwise do.
Yes, absolutely.
And
But now replace executive
with code
with
deployments
software
to
engineer.
production. Yeah, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you need to have somebody held accountable to your point earlier, and there's always going to be that human in the loop, right?
Yeah. But there's an interesting one little facet I did want to share quickly is that there's this really interesting thing is that the LLMs don't have the biases we do.
True.
We're not perfect. We have our biases. We're not great at reviewing our own code.
Surely not.
We know that because we give it to others.
Reviews.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Same thing for writing, by the way. I'm not a good editor.
Oh, I'm terrible.
Terrible. I can't review my own
terrible.
prose.
Writing but it had the same problem.
Mhm.
You've created it, you can't see the problems with it.
Yeah, surely I wouldn't have made the mistake in the first place if I thought there was anything wrong, right?
It's why everyone thinks their baby's perfect,
Yeah.
perfect, because we can't see the errors in what we've created. I'm joking, but but your code is in the same position, right? So I've seen people do something which was fascinatingly fun. They've used one LLM to create code and another LLM to critique it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do that.
Okay.
Because an LM doesn't have our bias, it doesn't have our blind spot. It will happily rip apart what it has just created, not least because it's mostly sessionless. So it's getting something for the first time again.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's something to bear in mind is part of the methods in the book and part of agentic engineering is understanding what that thinking is, what that cognition is, and its limitations.
Interesting.
And ours.
And which are more substantial, but at least well understood.
Well, we're better at understanding them.
Yeah.
But that information is not evenly spread.
Yeah. Okay. Why? You had to look at me and say that, huh? I see what happened here. It's not great. Okay. Well, that's amazing. So this, I think, actually, you brought it back to Ratatouille. That What I want is a rat that'll guide me to a good
Is that where
recipe.
we're ending up? Is that the metaphor?
I mean, I kind of like your idea of the ratatouille. Actually, it works for me. I think of Claude or
Now, is
Codex or whatever.
Claude Ratatouille or are you Ratatouille?
Well,
Which
ratatouille is
one's
the
the
rat.
cook? Yeah.
I'm the
You're the
one
rat.
being driven,
You're...
right?
Ah, okay, okay.
And I don't appreciate that necessarily. Sometimes I like to feel like I'm involved in the process. Sometimes I'll take a stab at the code and come back and defeat it and go, okay, okay, you do it. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we've all had that experience, and I've had that. I talk about it in a minute at UberConf, right? I'm talking about the fact that
Where we
there
are,
is a
by the
moment
way,
I drop off. We're in UberConf, which
UberConf is
isn't the most lovely place that we were talking about, but it is very lovely.
very lovely, and you can't see it out the window, but it's actually quite beautiful.
Yeah,
We're not
it's
in Denver
gorgeous.
proper. We're just outside in
Yeah.
Westminster, and
I can see the sun go up over proper mountains, which is
oh,
wonderful for anyone from the UK.
yeah.
So yeah, so the ratatouille thing, where do we go with that?
You're English?
I
I
know.
had no idea.
I hide it well. Yes, I'm English enough to be today crying because we
Oh,
have departed the World Cup.
there, buddy.
But you know, life goes on, and the
Surely.
British are very good at accepting defeat. So yeah, where do we want to go? Do we want to actually confess where is the
No,
best
not
place to
yet.
visit?
Not
No,
yet.
we're not.
I'm still confused. Okay, let's talk about this. So the when you talk about guard, when you talk about like shaping that feedback to these models, what is that?
Yeah,
You
so
know,
that's part of the habitat. So the habitat encompasses us and the model, right? And any other cognition that might appear. So when you view software engineering as a collaborative game, which it is,
sure, team sport,
now we've got the team involves players that don't think like us.
right?
So I treat them as team players. I don't treat them as things I just hand off to. I
Yeah.
actually treat them as, okay, you tell me about this. In fact, the very first interaction with an LLM in the Sovereign Engineer book, not the Apprentice, but the bigger book, the very first interaction is to say, right, take your chosen agent, take your chosen poison, if you like, and point it at a code base and ask it what it sees. Just ask it what it sees.
Yeah.
And it will give you an idea of what it doesn't see.
Interesting.
And then you start to go, okay, maybe I need to tell you about the things you don't see, the things you don't notice, the things you can't comprehend from this. So that's the beginning of looking at, well, what do we need inside the habitat to help the LLM be a good collaborator? And that's where harness engineering can come in. So harness engineering is one of those mechanisms.
What is harness engineering?
So that kind of, as a term that came out of some brilliant folks at ThoughtWorks, and what they've come up with is a collection of context. So you define context, you define architectural constraints, which can be anything from this is how we work, this is what's important to us, do we apply TDD or not, do we do this? It can be quite embarrassing to read it when someone said, no, we don't do TDD ever, and you go, wow, okay, maybe I should find another job. And then the most important part, the part I think people miss is the feedback loops.
Yeah.
So the harness is never done. The harness is something you're refining over time. And I use a little technique called reflection. So every
Not
time
Java Lang reflection.
not that one. Oh, no.
Introspection reflection.
More, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm asking but I'm asking the LLM to introspect on the session, as do I.
Okay.
And I asked one question, what has surprised us both? And then in those surprises, we find things that the harness could be improved with.
Huh.
So it's the difference between prompting and going, you produced rubbish, and going, I've used you, this surprised me. What can we put in the harness to help you next time?
Like a retrospective for.
It's exactly like a retrospective.
Interesting. But you do it on a more granular every hour or whatever. Every problem.
So deliberately, I introduce a buffer, a queue. So when you're at the end of your session, say you'll go, okay, I want to reflect on this.
Yeah.
And that produces one or more reflections, notes of surprise. And there's usually little hints in there going that I think we should change the harness this way. But those are proposals. They go in a log. I usually commit the log in my repo, the AI literacy superpowers. You can see one of those logs in there. It's committed in the repo. I don't have any persistence externally for it, but you could have. The idea is then at a chosen moment in time, you and your team that are owning that repo will be able to look at those reflections and go, which do we want to promote?
And also it could serve as shared knowledge so that when other people are doing the same iterative development,
it's like a history.
They can learn from your mistakes.
Your surprises.
Surprises.
Yeah. It's like calling incidents surprises. It's the same thing.
Sure. That's amazing. Actually, that's a great idea. I didn't. Yeah.
And the other thing, there's a nuance I just want to point out
Okay,
is
please.
that goes into the harness. Now, the harness is in a document called a harness MD in my world,
Yeah,
but that is not read by the agents.
it's not.
Very long. Okay, it's verbose. You'd immediately go tokens. I'm worried. Okay, so but what I do is I deliberately keep it that way because it's a human curated document. Yes, I do use Claude to work on it, but I'm the decision maker. It's my document.
Sure.
And then what I do is I have the control surfaces for the agents. That's your agents MD, it's your hooks, and even your CI/CD could be considered it. And what I do is I've got a skill that will take what's in the harness MD and align those control surfaces because they're tuned to the agents. Otherwise, I'd end up with a mishmash of concerns between what I need to see and what they need to see. So that's the process.
That is amazing. This is kind of okay. So we have two books here that people should be going to get right now. Today is the 15th of July, 2026.
It is.
Okay. So the books are available.
Both are available, both on LeanPub. Both as the Sovereign Engineer and the Sovereign Apprentice.
Sovereign Engineer and the Sovereign Apprentice, leanpub.com. Russ Miles.
Yep.
The legendary.
I don't include that in the title.
I did. I didn't even have to prompt me. Questions. Final as we round out the this admittedly abbreviated interview, but I know you've got a keynote coming up, and I have to bounce as well. Are you on the internet? Do you want to be found? And if so, where can people find you?
russmiles.com.
So yeah.
I'm hiding behind a well encrypted URL.
Right. And then look, I suppose we should let them in on the secret. You know?
I don't know, they'll go.
This place is so good. It's so good. I mean, it's got it's famous for a lot of things. It's famous for films, sausages.
Yeah, I think you've got sausages in there. You've got some amazing foods, actually.
Amazing foods. And I'm a big fan of this place. I can't believe more people don't go there. It's just